Today you'll see two neat tops that are super easy to sew, little cowl neckline, but one that is very discreet. Only 4 pattern pieces and maybe 1 hour of your time. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from liftingpinsandneedles.com. Welcome to this channel that is all about sewing, limitless sewing, and today I have 2 tops to share. I've made one version for winter, one version for summer. I love patterns that you can do that. You know, it's not specifically for summer or winter. It can work for the whole year. It just depends on your fabric choice. And I love the name of the pattern. Reminds me of a family trip we took in 2023 to the Iguazu Falls in Brazil. It's like the junction of Argentina and Brazil. Huge waterfalls. I'm not sure if the pattern is named after Iguazu Falls, but the pattern is called Iguazu. And this is from Itch to Stitch. You can see Kenneth's version right here. A drapey fabric is going to show the features a lot better than something super structured. Her version is beautiful. It's super simple, understated, but just perfect, I find. You can see that there's a small cowl neckline on the front, but it's not a deep cowl neckline. It's very shallow. It doesn't create a lot of bulk around here either. And the fold sits super nicely without showing any of your cleavage or your chest or anything like that. Same as this area here is quite narrow. The stretch is suppressed on the back with sewing, and so it's not going to start falling off your shoulders and showing your bra strap, things like that. It's super nice. And then you can sew it for summer by doing cap sleeves or short sleeves, and more for colder weather with the 3/4 and the long sleeve there on the pattern piece. It's meant to hit at the mid-hip-ish. It's semi-fitted. You will have some positive ease here. There's not a fitted top. It's very easy to wear and enjoy your life and just feel really, really comfortable. It's not a basic knit top because it's got such a beautiful neckline and such a beautiful fit. Because the Iguazu top is brand new at Itch to Stitch, it's going to be 20% off through next Monday, the 27th of October. So if you like getting things for less, it's a great time when there's a pattern release. I'll leave you my affiliate link at the top of the comment section pinned. Super easy for you to find and click on. If you end up clicking on it and purchasing, you don't pay anything extra. It's just that I receive a small commission back from Kenneth, and it's one of the ways I make an income getting really, really helpful practical content here on YouTube that you can watch without any cost. So if you want to support what I do and it's helpful, I'd appreciate it if you use my link. Thank you so much. You need neat fabric, of course. This is not going to work with a woven fabric, and light to medium weights are going to be the best. Drape is your friend over here. So fabrics that are going to work well are the rayon spandex, modal spandex, bamboo spandex. I mentioned that as something that you can use, but it's not something that I like to use. I find them a little floppy, a little clingy, and they don't wear and wash well for a long time, but that's just my opinion. I know they're beautiful to wear for the short time that they last. Very soft, very drapey. So it would, in essence, be perfect. It's just that they don't last a long time. If I'm going to put an effort into sewing something, I want a fabric that will last a little longer. So something that's really nice as well is rayon French terry. I love that. It's heavier than the typical rayon spandex, got more body to it. It's got a different type of weave, and the color holds better. It just lasts better, but still looks super nice and drapey. Then you have ITY, double brush poly, single brush poly, sweater knits, rib knits. Another good fabric would be an athletic knit. If you want to make a workout top, I think would be great if it's nice and drapey. I wish I would have had time to do that because I'm always looking for workout tops that are cute, cuter than the regular ones. This would have been amazing. And I would have done the sleeveless hack. For sure, I would have done it. And because you have a nice amount of positive ease here, it doesn't need to stretch a whole lot. I think if you have 20% horizontally and a little bit of vertical give, you will be okay. But what did I choose this time? I chose a sweater knit. I have a sizable sweater knit collection. I buy them all in Chile. Over here in Brazil, I can't find them to save my life. I just can't find sweater knits over here. So whenever I go to Chile, I pick them up and I just save them for a nice day like this one. This one's red. It's got a super subtle print on it. It's not too contrasting, and it's got a nice amount of stretch, nice drape. It's going to be amazing for a winter version, and it's not going to be bulky under a jacket. Love that choice. And then the other one is a tiny little bit left over of rib knit that I had from making other things in the past. I had so little that I could only squeak out some cap sleeves here. I was barely able to squeak them out. So I'm really happy to have that. I forgot to film before cutting it, but it's super lovely, drapey. I would say it's a medium weight fabric. It has a lot of rayon component in there, in the blend. Rayon, polyester, spandex. Other notions, you need a fusible stay tape because we're going to suppress the stretch of the shoulders and the back neckline. That's to keep the neckline in place and not have it start falling and gaping over time. If you don't have fusible stay tape, just make your own little strips of interfacing that doesn't stretch and you'll be okay. If you're loving the sewing content here at Lifting Pins and Needles, don't forget to tap on that like button before you step out of the video. Really helps YouTube know that you love this and it's great content. Hopefully other people that love sewing can find my little sewing corner over here. Sizing 00 to 40 US. Hips up to 62 inches, and we have a regular bust option and the full bust option. The cutoff here is 3-inch difference between your high bust and your full bust. Measure that, figure it out. I'm actually on the 3 inches, so I could use the regular bust or the full bust. I always use the full bust because it just gives me such a better fit. What do you get? You get a little more ease and you get an even hem. You notice sometimes tops or dresses tend to pull at the center front, even though there's enough ease. It's just because of this that adds length in the front, extra length. So I have a great result with the full bust option. I think it's great that the option is there. The ease around the bust is around 2 to 3 inches of positive ease. So the gum is larger than your body, which is super nice. Down at the waist, you're going to have around 6 inches of positive ease, and towards the hip around 2. So it's really nice. Semi-fitted is a perfect amount of ease for a top like that. It's not going to be bulky on the jacket. It's not going to be super tight either. Just perfect. I chose a size 10 full bust, 12 waist, 14 hips. You can see that's where my measurements are right now. And the only fitting adjustment I made here was a length adjustment, and that's to the long sleeve. I used the shorten and lengthen line and I added 1 inch of length. I'm just taller. Very easy, very painless. Super low worrying levels over here. I was 100% sure this was going to fit and turn out amazing. So whenever you have a project like that, it's great. Now I am going to show you a lot of the sewing, focusing on this cowl neckline and how easy it is to put together. It is so easy. You end up with enclosed seams on the shoulders. So neat on the inside. We are going to use 3/8 seam allowance, and I am going to be using the sewing machine for a few of the steps, but there's others where you can use a serger as well. Here we have the back of the Iguazu top. I'm using a sweater knit. We need to stabilize shoulders, and at the same time, we're going to suppress the stretch of the back. So we're going to put stay tape all along this edge here. If you don't have stay tape, just cut little tiny pieces of interfacing that doesn't stretch and it'll work just the same. But I'm fortunate to have this. So I'm going to put it a little further away just to make sure I'm going to catch this in the seam when I sew this later. Seam is going to be 3/8. So this actually molds to curves really well because it's cut on the bias, but it keeps it firm because it has that ribbon in the middle. So good. Now I can't tell you where to buy this because I bought this in Brazil. Okay, so we have a stable shoulder and a stable back neckline right here, and you're not going to see this. We only have 4 pattern pieces for the Iguazu top from each to stitch. I'm using a sweater knit for this one. Front, back, both on the fold. The front looks way taller because the neckline is going to be folded in like an integrated facing to form the cowl shape. So that's why this looks way longer than the back. The back, we stabilize the neckline and the shoulder seams at the iron. This is a long sleeve. You can also do a cap and a short sleeve. And that tiny piece of binding there is for the back neckline. Sweater knit is terrible for binding, so I never use it. So I'm just using a red athletic knit for my binding. It's going to match my print. Awesome. Here we have the back neckline, right sides up. I've got a pin in the center back just to help me. Remember, this is stabilized. It has no stretch right here. And now here's the binding. The binding should match this 1-to-1. We're not stretching the binding to match. And I've just got a pin to mark the center of the binding, and we're folding it wrong sides together lengthwise. So I'm just going to align these here at the back, the ends, and then pin in the middle. That's how I usually do it. I pin the center, I pin the extremes, and then fill in the gaps. I'm going to do that on this other side, pin it nicely. I want to have a nice experience with this binding, so I'm going ahead and hand basting it in place. I don't want my athletic knit to move around. And the other reason I'm doing that is that so it stays put, because I'm going to have my binding at the bottom touching my feed dogs. Here is a stable section. This doesn't stretch. So I'm going to sew it like this. I'm going to have this touching the presser foot, the knit touching the feed dogs, and that's how I'm going to avoid this stretching out and getting puckers and things like that. So having the hand basting is so much nicer than trying to remove pins and hoping things don't shuffle around. I'm doing this with a narrow zigzag, but I could in essence do this with a straight stitch. It's just that all the rest that I'm going to need my sewing machine for, I'm going to do with a narrow zigzag. So I'm just set it up like that, sewing it with 3/8 seam allowance. There is a seam, nice and stable. Now I'm going to trim this out, trim the seam allowance that we have here in half. You can see I'm cutting part of the stay tape, but not all of it. It's still going to keep its function there of suppressing the stretch in this area. Just because it's slightly curved, I'm going to do a few little snips here. Tiny ones every 5/8 of an inch or so, because we're actually going to fold all of this binding towards the inside. It's not going to be seen from the outside. So this is going to come over like that. You can see it's going to cover the seam allowance. It's going to cover the stay tape. It's going to end up looking super neat. That's how it's going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and press this, tidy it up, hand baste it. That's how the binding looks like on the inside. Narrow zigzag. You can see I've rolled it with my fingers a little bit so that the edge is not right there. So from the outside, you're not going to see my red athletic knit. It's going to look super clean. It doesn't stretch at all. Here I'm serging the top edge of the cowl neckline, so I've moved over to my front piece. There's no other way than to do it right now, so get it out of the way. I'm trying really hard not to trim anything away, being careful with the blade. This is the top curved section of the front piece that we've just serged. So super neat. Now we have this funny little shape like this and like this. I got a white piece of paper to put there so it's more contrasting. So basically we have this like that. In the middle we have a little notch. That's the top section. That's the bottom section of the shoulders. And so this bottom section is what we want to look at right now, from that notch to there. This down here is the armhole. So ignore this long, bigger curve here. It's just this little bit that we need there. Let's get our back piece and put it on the table, right sides up. This is the shoulder of the back. Now let's put this on top. Here is that little notch I'm talking about, little yellow mark. So we want the bottom section. This is where we're going to align the edge of the binding right here. So just align it there. And this is the shoulder there. And now once we have that aligned, we're going to take this top section of the shoulder and wrap it around. So we're basically sandwiching the back shoulder between these two front shoulders right here. So we have 3 layers. We'll pin that together, make everything super snug on this fold. And this is how we're going to sew the shoulder seams. Got that pinned. Now let's do the other side. Remember, these are the shoulders. There is that notch, that yellow mark. This bottom section is what aligns right here. Bring the shoulder, binding, that edge is right there along that mark. Align it. Keep it snug, wrap this around, and we're going to have another shoulder. You can serge these shoulder seams if you want to. To keep the 3/8 seam allowance intact though, you would have to trim some off. I'm choosing to do this on the sewing machine with a narrow zigzag, and then I'm going to serge as well. When it's a bulky seam where there's 3 layers, I would rather have a bit of seam allowance there rather than having a really thick edge that's just serged. That's just my preference. Okay, after sewing that, I have gone and serged it. I've done that on both sides. Now we've flipped everything and we have our front cowl neckline piece coming in. That's the integrated facing, the serged edge. The shoulder seams are enclosed. You can barely see my stay tape. That's really nice. This is pretty continuous, like that. So this was extremely easy, so easy. And now all I have to do is do side seams, set in a sleeve on the round because that's what I prefer, and a hem. Otherwise, you can keep the armhole open like this and sew your sleeve in on the flat. You know the drill. Here I'm sewing the side seam, super simple. Now to keep the seam allowance accurate, you can see I'm trimming off about 1/8 of an inch. If I didn't trim anything away, I would actually just be using 1/4 of an inch instead of 3/8. Negligible differences, but let's try to keep it accurate. What I have here is my sleeve pinned. I like sewing mine on the round. That's why I did my side seam first. I assembled my sleeve separately, and now I've slid it in here, matched up the single notch with the single notch, the double one with the double one, and up on the top we have that little mark that matches the shoulder seam. Now let me show you that this cowl piece on the front,
you're going to be catching about 3/8 of an inch of it right there. You can see the edge. So you're going to be catching just that little bit. The rest is just going to be loose inside. So let's just get this sewn.
What am I wearing, you might ask? This is the Mindelo top from Itch to Stitch, but this is a hack because the original has a button placket and it's just a top. I cut mine on the fold, I created a facing there, and I have a lovely linen dress with dots everywhere. So nice, really nice amount of V's. And check out the details here. The V is not deep, and check out this ruffled detail right there. It's finished with binding on the inside and it's super beautiful. Have a look at it. It's one that I think you'd like to have as well. Check it out. This is the one that you saw in the tutorial. The wind is blowing it right now. So lovely. Look at this print. It's so pretty. My red binding right there. So nice. You can see that there's no stretch here at the back. So this is always going to be super, super stable. The shoulders also have no stretch. And here is the cowl neckline. It drapes beautifully. It's folded to the inside. Serged on the edge as you saw, and the rest is like a simple knit top here. Long sleeves. I've put a little dead cat on my microphone. I hope it's not picking up the wind. This is how the cowl looks like from the inside. On the front, it's just draped and folded in. Enclosed shoulder seams. You catch a tiny little bit there on the sleeve, like 3/8. Not bulky at all. And then the back looks so nice with that binding. It's enclosed in there. Super nice. All the rest on the serger. Very nice 1-inch hem allowance. I really love this. I can't wait to wear it. And yeah, I'm just really excited about the red sweater. Let's see it on. This is my gorgeous Iguazu top from Itch to Stitch. I made this one a winter version in a sweater knit. I love the print and the red background here. I've got it paired with my Quebec skirt, also from Itch to Stitch. Casual look for in-between weather. I have a size 10 full bust, blended to 12 waist, 14 hips here, and I think the ease is just right. This is the original length. I didn't add length to the body of the top, so it's perfect at the mid-hip. Nice amount of ease. I've got long sleeves that are 1 inch longer than the original, and I love it paired with a red skirt. Check out this cowl neckline. It's so nice in the sweater knit, nice and drapey. It's not low. Let me bend over. You can't see a thing. It's super nice, and it's also not going to fall off here because we've stabilized the back neckline right there. So this isn't going to stretch out. You're never going to see your bra strap, and it's a really neat finish. Super easy sew. Great shoulder and sleeve fit as well. You can also sew a cap sleeve and a short sleeve, so this can be for any weather. This is just a winter one. Here's a good look at the upper section of the Iguazu top. I think it's really nice. Simple little detail that is not going to be exposing your cleavage or anything like that. And this neckline is so easy to achieve, and it's got enclosed shoulder seams, so super nice on the inside. I love how it turned out. It's perfect to wear under a jacket for the winter. It's not bulky, and the neckline is not low at all. It's not high either. It's a really safe neckline and a pattern that's super easy to sew. Zero pain sewing this and high satisfaction. Here I've got it paired with jeans, super casual. I've got the same comfy black loafers, which is what you need when you're going to have a busy day out. Full bust option not only gives you more ease and a better fit on the front in general, but it makes the hem even and it doesn't pull up in the center front, which happens sometimes when the pattern is not drafted for your cup size. No drama here with the full bust option. It works perfect for my sewing C cup. I think the Iguazu sweater in my case really dresses up the jeans, and it's a great casual outfit that you're still very comfortable in. Of course, red and blue denim is always going to be something I'm drawn to. It's just classic. Here I've got my Iguazu top / sweater. Paired with a long skirt made in stretch velvets, pull up with a really cute slit and some boots. Love this for an autumn winter look. I could always get a jacket on top, but I want you to see the sweater. The top has enough ease around the hips that I'm comfortable wearing it with a straight style silhouette on the skirt. This is so comfortable and so cozy. It's just the best thing. And if you don't have a long black skirt like this, you're missing out because it can go with so many things. And I love how this looks together. For my summer version, I made the cup sleeve with the stripy rib knit. The only difference with this one was that the cutting took longer. With the other one, I just cut it. Zero issues with cutting. You just put your pattern pieces and cut. This time I had to do it extended with the fabric extended, put my pattern piece, then flip it, mark the stripes on the side. You know the jam. Because I really wanted my sides to match. I knew that with the bit left over I had to get the cup sleeves, I was not going to be able to have the sleeves match. But if I have to choose between sleeves and sides, I would rather prioritize the sides. So yeah, that was all. The rest was all the same. And here it is. It's super, super understated. You know, I love the width of these stripes. I love that the black stripes are wider than the beige stripes. That's something I look for. And the drape is gorgeous. Check it out. So nice. Little cap sleeve, little hem allowance right there. I wanted to keep my sleeve the longest it could be, so I just folded it up by 3/8. And it's really, really, really lovely. It's all the same, just the shorter sleeve and the beautiful fabric. It's so nice. The binding looks really pretty as well. Very nice. Let's check this one out. This is my second Iguazu top. This time it's a rib knit. Got horizontal stripes. I'm usually not a fan of stripes, but I like these. I like the width of them. And of course, beige and black, classic. I've got the same sizing, 10 full bust, 12 waist, 14 hips, same original length. The only difference here is the cap sleeves. Got it paired with my red Quebec skirt again, which is a skirt that goes with everything, especially this color combination. I really love it. I really like the amount of ease in this top. Super nice. No bunching up here because it fits the high hip and the mid hip well. Even hem because of the full bust option. I'm just really happy. I was able to match the stripes on the side. That's super important for me. That was my priority. I think it's beautiful. There's a lot of rayon in this rib knit, so it drapes amazingly. Still not low. I'm still not showing anything. Looks really nice. I wasn't able to match up the stripes here because I got this cap sleeve from the tiniest bit of this fabric. It was the only sleeve that was going to fit. So I just made sure they were mirrored so that they're the same, but they do not match. I wasn't able to do that. That's okay. Again, super comfortable with the depth of the folds that form the cowl. It's not low, it's not high, it's just right. The shoulders are really firm because we've suppressed the stretch right there, the back neckline. So this is not going to stretch out and start hanging off my shoulders and showing my bra strap. Happy with that. So happy with this fabric choice. This was the last little bit left over I had. I've made other garments from this fabric before and it's so soft. Just amazing to have a stripy top like this with a beautiful delicate cowl neckline. I've got another skirt here paired with my Iguazu top, beige. Everything's neutral here. I've got gold leather on my feet, a little bag, a little less colorful this time. The top has enough ease, loose enough that I'm comfortable pairing it with a skirt that's more fitted than the red one that you just saw. I feel balanced, I feel absolutely fine, and I really love this. Super classic. This is a super comfy outfit. The skirt is a stretch twill, so no drama there in the top. The softness of this rib knit is everything. I've swapped my bottoms for a wide-leg pair of linen pants, have the ankle on show. I've kept the same gold sandals with a little bit of a heel. Love these, super casual, super comfortable. Colors, very muted, but still super pretty. Even though these pants are a little wider, I don't feel I need to tuck in or do anything because the top is a little shorter. So I feel perfect like this. So many other ways, you know, this top is beige and black, so I could literally wear anything on my bottoms and it's going to look fine. This is just what I came up with now. You didn't see denim, but denim, blue denim or black denim, gray denim, whatever would look super good as well. For summer, for winter, it's so nice, it's so great. I love the depth of the neckline that you can bend over, you're not showing anything, you're not showing your bra. It's just so, so nice. I know some of you that are worried about cowl necklines and showing too much. Well, let me tell you, I worry about the same, and this is not something you should worry about with this pattern and the way it's been drafted. The cowl piece is not too big, so the drapey feature there is not large, doesn't create bulk, and it doesn't go down to show cleavage, which is something super personal. You know, I'm not criticizing anyone that likes to show off that area of their body. It's just not me. And if I can choose and sew what I like, I appreciate designs like this. So there you go, love it, highly recommend. Don't forget to check it out and get it 20% off before the sale ends next Monday the 27th. That's all from me. I'm gonna head back inside because the wind is just so strong right now. See you super soon, bye.